We're going to be rating every single devil fruit today and ranking them in tier list fashion. This will include every single fruit from anime into manga, but the manga ones will be at the very end. So it is spoiler free for anime watchers, but you should be completely caught up to the anime because there are some in Wano, which is the current arc. We have almost 150 canonical devil fruits to cover today, so it's going to be a pretty long video. So grab some snacks and let's get into this. The first one we have here is Shiryu's clear fruit. Invisibility is pretty broken. I'm going to just slap it right in A tier. There are multiple characters that have confirmed future sight. I think with that being said, it doesn't deserve S tier. Next we have Ace's flame fruit. I think I'm going to slap that right into S tier. It's a really strong fruit. It's a Logia fruit, and all the Logia fruits are really good. I think almost all the Logia fruits are just going to go right into S tier, especially all the elemental ones. And this one's very strong as it gives you invulnerability to anything that's not coated with Haki. The flame fruit is still really strong offensively and gives you great mobility, being able to fly through the air. Next, we have a Kainu's fruit, a lava fruit, and that is unfortunately going to be higher than Ace's. You know, has way crazier explosive power. He can take out like entire hordes of people by just sending down meteors of magma. It's really ridiculous fruit. Has the most destructive power in the verse other than maybe Whitebeard's earthquake fruit. S tier fruit. I don't think there's any argument to give it not S tier. Alvida's fruit, I'm gonna give it C. This is like the slippery fruit that lets things slip off her body, which even includes like weight, like fat. She can, you know, turn from a bigger gal to, you know, what we see today. This is a pretty cool fruit, and it also lets you dodge a lot of like blunt object attacks. I don't know. There's no feats for it. I don't want to give it anything higher than C tier. Next is a Poo, and he's also kind of a bottom tier fruit. I think this fruit's pretty cool because as we saw, it was pretty annoying for the Wano boys to deal with it. They had to like block their ears for that, which was definitely something that was a little problematic. Next we got Baby 5. Baby 5 ain't that strong, honestly. I'm gonna give it C tier fruit. It's not that crazy. Turn your body parts into weapons, but regular weapons aren't that strong. I don't know. It's like, who cares about like guns and stuff? And she can't have like C prism stone bullets because like you can't load those up in the gun because the gun is your arm, and if you put a C prism stone in your arm, you're not gonna have the devil fruit power anymore. So yeah, C tier. Bartolomeo, I'm giving this an S tier fruit. I might be overrating this fruit. I mean, being able to like block anything, set up a barrier that can't be hit by anything. And we've seen some crazy stuff getting blocked by this. In the flashback with Odin, we saw Odin attack the one guy that had the fruit before Bardo had the fruit. Odin with two Haki covered swords, one of them being Enma, didn't even break through the barrier. That means that this might be able to stop nearly anything in the verse. I would think that higher Haki would be able to destroy that, but definitely Odin's Haki was more strong than that Kurizumi clan guy. So I'm gonna put it at S, but it might deserve a lower ranking in the future if somebody can break through it. If that ever happens, it's not an S tier fruit anymore, but for now, S tier. Basil Hawkins is an interesting fruit. I want to give it B tier because it makes the user really hard to defeat. As long as he has any amount of lackeys that he can make the straw dolls for, he can do that. That's a really strong fruit, but it has a big downside of having to betray your subordinates. The straw fruit was pretty cool. It made that giant witch attacker thing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it up to A tier. Infinite Lives is broken. That's like a crazy ability. It definitely deserves A tier. Beige, I'm pretty sure they called it Beji. But yeah, his fruit is not that crazy. I'm gonna give it C tier. It makes him turn into a giant castle guy, which is pretty cool because it can house, you know, an entire army, and then he can send them out of his chest hole and they just jump right out, and that's pretty cool. You got me. We'll give it B because you can actually house really strong people and then go somewhere and bring like, you know, whip out a whole army. That it is pretty scary. It's a pretty scary fruit. Bellamy, you do get C. It's a very linear fruit. It's not that great. It's the spring fruit. It lets you turn your body parts into springs so you can like flung yourself at people. You know, as we saw, anybody with observation Haki of like minuscule levels can see what's happening and see what's see where they're going to be and just knock them out. We saw it happen with Luffy. Yeah, we're gonna give it C tier. Betty's fruit is pretty cool. It's the Rally fruit. I do like this. It's kind of like on the same level as Beji. It's actually really similar in my opinion because it gives you access to a whole army. You get to rally a bunch of people and make them do whatever you want. That's pretty cool. You get to really like motivate just a bunch of random people to do a fight. It's pretty cool. This is a C tier fruit. It turns you into like a wasp. That doesn't seem that good. Pocket fruit is also kind of mid. It lets you just store like weapons and stuff in your body. And honestly, let's just make it D. Who cares about pockets, man? I got pockets. What do I need pockets for? Door fruit is pretty cool. Put it at B. Being able to teleport yourself to places with like a weird door thing. It's pretty useful. I think it's only really good in a supportive manner. It lets you get away, which is cool, but that's really it. So it has like defensive and maneuverability. It has 0 offensive potential. You can infiltrate with a strong crew of characters, which gives it a bit of offensive potential. So I changed this later and put it to A. Bonnie's fruit is not fully shown yet. I don't think we have the full capabilities of Bonnie's fruit. I'm gonna put it at A because being able to manipulate someone's age and herself's age to make yourself old or young. We don't know the extent of the fruit. I think we'll see a lot more about this fruit in the future, making it potentially an S tier fruit, or even worse, an A. I might be overrating it. I might be underrating it. I don't know. We don't have enough info, so I'm just gonna put it in A. We got another elemental Logia fruit here with Borsalino's fruit. It's a really, really strong fruit. It's a really strong fruit. It's like really, really strong. It's definitely our second strongest fruit so far. Like, it's just crazy strong. There's really nothing else to say. S tier. Brook's fruit is interesting, but you have to die to proc the fruit, which means like, I don't know, it's really restricted. But like the fruit powers that you get after it is really crazy. And I don't even know if Brook's like awakened yet. Ice powers and the ability to like go out of your body and stuff that he does. I don't know. B tier. It's cool, but it's not like a ridiculous fruit. The Mirror fruit is crazy. And I think it probably deserves S tier, but it requires a lot of setup. But being able to open pocket dimensions is ridiculous. Thinking about that, we'll put Bluno to A. It is a pocket dimension, right? Pocket dimension's cracked. Like, that is a crazy ability. That is a crazy ability. Maybe I'm underrating these powers. I think they might be S tier. What do you think in the comments? Buggy's fruit is B, solely based off of the Mihawk fight. It really only lets you dodge swords, which is crazy. You have some really positive matchups. He can fight Zoro, he can fight Mihawk, and live, and that's really cool. Also, it's not awakened yet, probably. I've seen the theories where he would maybe be able to split the red line. Who knows? I think this fruit will potentially be an S tier fruit, but for now, B's fine. B for Buggy. The Boombuku fruit is D tier. It's very bad. It's in a tea kettle. It turns you into a little Boombuku. Like, come on. D tier. Jesus Burgess fruit. This is also like a B tier fruit. It just makes you strong. Caribou's fruit is actually crazy. It's also a pocket dimension, I believe. Maybe it's not quite a pocket dimension, but it's still really strong. It's a Logia fruit as well. So it gives you still those, you know, the cool body, the crazy body thing. So yeah, A tier. Katarina, we have not seen her fruit that well, but it does seem just like it's a buffed version of the clone fruit where you can make yourself into anybody's form. We saw it already once. I don't know. We'll put it in B. I'll put the clone fruit in B as well because it has uses, but it doesn't really give you much like offensive or defensive ability other than like, you know, I mean, you could turn into Zoro and then Luffy won't punch you. Like, that's really it. Caesar's fruit is crazy. It's also a Logia fruit and it's a really strong one. I don't know if it quite deserves S tier, but I think this is one of those, the fruit is more powerful than the user because he doesn't really use it that effectively and he was getting like beat up by Gear 3 Luffy and all that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think maybe just bad user, but I'm going to put it in A instead of S right now. It's really useful though. It is better than the smoke fruit. Like, it's just a clear, obviously better than the smoke fruit that Smoker has. So A tier is good. This is the Jackal Zoan fruit. I don't think very many Zoan fruits are going to be highly rated except for like mythical Zoans and stuff like that. This Zoan fruit, I gotta put it in like C. We didn't really get to see much about it because it wasn't like an Alabasta fruit. It's probably fine. Honestly, it might even deserve D, but C is fine probably. Chopper's fruit is an interesting, it's a really interesting talking point because it's really useful for any, you know, animal. It makes you into a smart humanoid animal, as we've seen. Chopper is an incredibly smart individual, and it's mostly due to the fruit being able to give a reindeer the human brain, and then he just like went under a doctor's wing and got very smart. It's literally unusable by any human. Gotta give it D tier. Corazon, I love you, man, but your fruit sucks. Like, your fruit sucks. You can just be stealthy. That's really it. It's weak. It's a weak fruit. Crocker's fruit is pretty crazy. It's actually really strong. It's actually a really strong fruit. Being able to clap and then make a really strong biscuit man. That's what it does. But it does have the clear outs of them being able to be eaten. We saw that in the Luffy fight. Granted, only Luffy can probably do that. EOBB. I think that's fair. Crocodile's fruit is crazy. It's right there with Caesar Clown, I think, where it's a really strong non-elemental Logia. It's a really strong fruit for sure. Great maneuverability where you can turn yourself into sand and fly around, but it has the very clear weakness of water. It's very strong offensively because you can dry someone out and make them so they can't breathe. Get the guy a little wet and he dies. It almost makes me want to put it in B tier. But if you don't know that, it's an A tier fruit. It's almost an S tier fruit if you don't know about the water. So A tier is fair. Daifuku has the JoJo's fruit. It essentially gives you a little Aladdin stand. We'll give it C tier. It doesn't have great range, and it's not that powerful. I don't know. It's kind of mid. C tier. Dalmatian fruit. It just makes you a Dalmatian guy. It's another weak Zoan. We'll give it C tier. Same with this one. It's like a bull. C tier. Daz Bones fruit is pretty cool. It can make any part of your body into a sword. It's all right. It's kind of just a weaker form of Baby 5. We'll give him C tier. Van Decken fruit is mid as well. It lets you lock on, and then anything you throw, you can aim it to there. I'm going to give this a C tier, probably D tier. You can throw things at someone. That's not very good. Diamante also gets a D tier fruit. What is the point of this fruit? Make hard things like wave around a little. Okay, fine. We'll make it C because he can do this thing. It's kind of cool, I guess. Dofi's fruit is crazy. Top of A. It almost deserves S. We've seen the ridiculous range of abilities that this fruit has. You can make clones that look identical to you for some reason. You can do the birdcage thing. You can literally control an entire continent of humans. You can swing across the clouds and fly around. It's a crazy fruit. The Mole fruit is the worst Zoan fruit. It sucks. Why would you want this? So you can dig around in the dirt? It's bad. Whitebeard's fruit is crazy. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's ridiculous. You just punch the air and then you start a sea quake that literally splits the seas. It's one of the most destructive ones, and it's potentially planetary level, which might make it the most strongest fruit in the verse. I don't know. It's S tier. It's probably top of S tier. I think it's right here with Akainu. Anel's fruit also goes up here, and it's going to be right past Kizaru. I think it has the same potential as Light. Basically, I mean, electric is as fast as light. I think it has more destructive capabilities. We've seen, the extents of it pre-time skip. I think we'll see this guy again potentially. And if we do see him again, well, he's probably going to be a whole powerhouse. The Caterpillar Zoan fruit. It's got to be the worst Zoan fruit, right? It's D tier. Let's move the bug fruit down too. Who cares about these fruits? I'm not going to use them. I'm a Zoan fruit hater, to be honest. The only Zoan fruits I think are even good are mythical Zoan fruits, and even at that, they're still kind of weak compared to some of the ridiculous fruits we have. So yeah, the bad Zoan fruits, D tier. Foxy's fruit is good, but I think he's a bad user. His beam seems like it's really slow for sure, so I'm gonna put it in B, but I think it has application, and if it wasn't on such a weakling, it would be really good. The elephant one is another really weak one. Now, we didn't get to see this on a human. We saw it on a sword. D tier. The butter fruit, D tier. It just lets you use butter. Come on. The bomb fruit guy, I think this is another example of terrible user. It lets any part of your body become a bomb, including, flicking boogers at people. And that's all he did with it. I think this is another case of really bad user, but I'm still going to just put it in C. I don't think it's a great fruit. Giola is another case of bad user, great fruit. Honestly, being able to turn anybody into a cartoon and wipe them of their offensive capabilities is crazy. But she got outsmarted by Brooke. But I think the right people using this fruit, it would be a ridiculous fruit. But since we don't have any feats from it, C tier. Gladius is pretty much just a buffed version of the other bomb guy, and because of that, we're just gonna put him one higher. Bo's fruit is crazy, but it has to be used by somebody that can make strong feelings to them. And we don't know fully the full restraints of this power. It might be as simple as, somebody has to simp for you. But I think it might be other ways around. It deserves A tier, top of A tier. Probably S tier, and I might change that one day, but for now, A tier. Top of A tier, though. This is like the jail fruit that lets you make a cage around people. Seems pretty mid to me. I'm gonna put it in C. The cut or the snip fruit that Inazuma has doesn't really seem that useful. Being able to snip cut the things around you is, I don't know, not that useful. He was only really able to like make bridges and stairs and stuff. I'm gonna leave it in C. Fujitoro's fruit is crazy. Being able to manipulate gravity is a ridiculous thing. Who knows if this is awakened? If it's not awakened, then this fruit probably has way more power than we have so far, and he's already able to just drop meteors on people. This is an A tier fruit without a doubt. I'm gonna put it here at the top. Ivankov is a really interesting fruit because, you know, on paper, being able to change the genders of people is not very useful. The steroid effect where it makes them stronger for a little bit of time doesn't seem like the best power in the world. I think there's definitely a case for this being a higher than C tier fruit, but I'm gonna put it in C. I think for right now, with what we've seen, it's not that great, but he is one of the higher ups in the Revolutionary Army. Hopefully we'll see more from this fruit, but for now, C tier. The Jacket fruit is the worst. It's the worst one. The stink tier. Wait, I'm tripping. That's not even that one. That's the wolf fruit that the one guy had. You can be in C tier. That's a decently offensive fruit. It's right here with the jackal. It's right here with the Dalmatian. It's with all these. We got Jack's fruit. This is a pretty good one. It's better than every other Zoan we've seen so far. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a mythical Zoan, so it does have a little bit more power. And I think having like a mammoth guy, it's pretty strong. It has really good defensive properties and offensive properties. It's just a bad user, and Jack has taken L after L after L. So we've never really seen the full power of this fruit. He's also a fishman, which makes him a suboptimal fruit user in general. I'll put it at the top of C. I think it's one of the weakest mythical Zoans, so it's not going to be very high up there, but C tier is good. It's better than all of these. And actually, all of these are on this tier. Let's just give it B. Jozu's diamond fruit, I think, just gives you like a strong diamond body. It doesn't seem that good. We'll put it like a little bit higher on here. Like it's higher than Daifuku and probably better than Bellamy's fruit. I should be arranging these a little bit better. I'm just putting them in tiers. It's fine. We'll leave it for now. This is another one of the bug ones. It's just not very good. It's not a good fruit. I'll put it with these. Kaido's fruit, the dragon fruit. We gotta give this S tier. The reason being is we've seen the extents of this fruit. It's really, really strong and make clouds that can float an entire island. It can fly. It has the blast breath. It has reasons to be way above every other Zoan fruit. The soap fruit doesn't seem very good. It just doesn't. Pretty low D tier. Conjuro's fruit is pretty cool. I think honestly it goes right around the same as Giolo, but I think Giolo's fruit is a little stronger. To be honest, I think these are both kind of hacks fruits though, so I think they both go up to B for sure, at least. This crow guy's fruit, we haven't really seen the full extent of this fruit. We're definitely not done with the Revolutionary Army yet, so we'll definitely see more from it, but for right now, it really seems like he can become a flock of crows. We'll put it here, we'll put it at high C, because I think down the line, I'm going to be very much so impressed by the fruit, and it'll probably deserve B or higher, but for now, C. Because we just don't know that much about it. Katakuri's fruit is really strong. It's very similar to Luffy's gum abilities. So we'll put it up here. I think we just have a case of mid-fruit amazing user. I think that's really what it is. Without the ability of Future Sight, this fruit would be a lot less strong. It's not a Logia. He was able to move his body around the punches. He wasn't immune to them. Here's the jacket guy. That guy sucks. Stink tier. Kid's fruit is interesting. Make big metal punch. Once again, it's kind of like the gum abilities where you can just make big punch. His named attacks go pretty crazy though. Not gonna lie. Under cats, I think, because Katakuri can make those giant spiky wheels and stuff, which is also a powerful ranged weapon. Kinemon's fruit is another one that just sucks. Why'd they give him such a shitty fruit? It's not good. It's not a good fruit. You can just make garments. It's the garb fruit. It's garbage fruit. It's not good. No strength, no offensive, no defensive, no maneuverability. It just doesn't do anything. King's fruit is another one of the mythical Zoans that, and since it doesn't have the thing where you can like make other things fly, it doesn't have the blast breath, but it gives you flying potential and a really strong, dinosaur body. It gets A tier. It's not as strong as these Logia fruits, so we'll put it right here. Lafitte. We don't know the full potential of this guy's fruit. We don't even know what the fruit is. It's unnamed. We just know that he can sprout wings. That's it. There's a chance it's a mythical Zoan angel fruit. He also supposedly hypnotized a bunch of Marines. I don't know if this is just something he could do or if that's part of the fruit. He also snuck into the Warlord meeting, so I don't know. Once again, that might be something he can just do with his fruit, or he's just a stealthy boy. I'm going to put it in B. Pretty high up in B, because it's better than all of these fruits. Probably. Kuzan, you get S tier. It's a really ridiculous fruit. It's definitely yeah, I would say it's better than both of these other Logia fruits because It can mitigate your weakness of the ocean, being able to like get flung to the sea and then freeze the whole sea before it happens. Like having no weakness is crazy, and we've seen its offensive and defensive capabilities, and it's just it's a powerhouse fruit. Deserves S, in my opinion. Dog fruit. I think the first one that we saw that let us know that you could put it into inanimate objects because a Canon ate the dog fruit. It's definitely the worst of these fruits. I think it's probably down here. Like, it's not even as good as these bug fruits. Like, it's better than the caterpillar fruit. It's not better than these because these give you flight. I like Leo, but I don't like his fruit. The Stitch fruit does not seem very useful. I'm gonna put it in C. Actually, you know, let's just give it D. Big Mom's fruit is crazy. It goes to S tier because you can make an entire army out of, you know, anything by putting in soul life from other people, because you can take other people's souls and then put it into those things. You can enhance your own life force. You can take away your life and put it into other things. You just need to make people afraid of you. Good fruit. Real good fruit. Weight manipulation fruit. There's another example of the weight manipulation fruit, but this is just better. We're going to put this one in the top of like D tier. Let's actually just buff this to C tier because it does allow flight, which is pretty good. Magellan's fruit is crazy. Top of A. Very, very high up in A. Is this a Logia fruit? Either way, it's crazy. I think we're going to get another thing for Impel Down because Dofi probably is not done in the series, and there's other really powerful characters down there in Impel Down. I hope we get to see this fruit again. And yeah, I hope we get to see more of Magellan, maybe with Hockey this time. I hope with Hockey this time. Yeah, A tier for sure, at least. Mon Cherie's fruit is interesting. Being able to heal people. This is one of the best fruits for a doctor to have because you can just cry and it heals people. Yeah, this is a really strong fruit, but it's not like offensive or defensive. It's kind of just like pure support, but it's one of the highest level support characters. So we'll put it in B. Marco's is another one of the best Zoan fruits, one of the best mythical Zoan fruits. I actually think it's better than Kaido's. That might be a hot take, but I think it's better than Kaido's. But Marco is a really ridiculous character. Giving flight, first off, is really good. You have flames that can be used offensively or to heal, which makes this character one of the most OP doctors in the entire verse as well. Honestly, I think this is the character that I would want as my doctor. May actually probably Law. Either Law or Marco for sure. Marco's fruit is S tier. Probably deserves even higher than all these Logia fruits, but for now, you're right here. Black Maria is a weird Zoan fruit. I'm gonna put it here with Jack because I think it's not like quite as good as Jack's fruit, but it's not really much worse than it. So in the bottom of B. Both of the snake girls, I don't remember what the other snake girl's name is, but she's in here somewhere. They're both Zoan fruits that are snakes. And I think they both are just like a little bit stronger than these Zoan fruits here. So we're going to put them right there. I forget this girl's name, but she's also just like that other guy, but it's weaker. So I'm just going to put it in the same tier, but one under. The Minotauros, all of these characters, there's like 4 of them, the mini guys. These are the first awakened Zoans that we see, but they seem like mindless dudes. They're strong, but they're not actually that strong. I'm gonna put them all in the same spot as this guy, as like these other Zoans in C tier. I'm putting all 4 of them in here. They do have a different character name for each one of them. Like one is the Minotauros, one of them is like the Minichihuahua. They're all the same character to me. They all get to C tier. Monet has the weakest Logia, but it's still a Logia. I'm gonna put it in B tier because it's not as strong as the Logias in A tier. Right after Cat, I think Cat's fruit is crazier, but once again, good user. And then Monet is right after that. This book guy, Montor, he's mid. He's really mid of a character. He's not very strong. His fruit is cool. It can like summon books and like put characters into like fictionalized books. That's like jail. Considered a pocket dimension, but kind of only barely. It has way harder restrictions. So it's not going to go up in A with these other pocket dimension characters, but I'll put it in B. We got Big News Morgans. This is a strong mythical Zoan. It's the Albatross, but we haven't really seen any feats from this character. So I'm going to put it down here and C with these other Zoans, but it's probably better than all of these other Zoans because it's like a mythic Zoan, but it's a flightless bird. Like the whole thing about a bird is that you can fly. Why does it not fly? I don't know. Pretty mid, probably lower than C, but we're going to put it in C for right now. This is like the soul fruit. Actually, I think the soul fruit is Big Mom's fruit, but either way, this is a really strong fruit as well. Being able to snip somebody's life essence out and put it into somebody else, into like a corpse, is another one that can make a whole army. It's not as strong as Big Mom's fruit, so we're gonna put it in A, and we'll probably see more of the fruit, so A tier is fine. I forget this guy's name. This is like the ground molding fruit. You can mold the ground around in any way, like clay. You know, burrow you down and like host a bunch of people down in the bottom. From what we've seen of this fruit, it's not incredibly strong, but it's definitely a solid, usable fruit. I'm gonna put it in C tier, and I'm gonna put it right here around like right higher than Baby 5. The clone fruit is okay. It's not the best in the world, but it's not bad. Katarina I put in B. We're going to put this right there too. I'm actually going to drop it down to C because it doesn't have the enhanced strength and speed that a Zoan would give. The candle fruit is mid D. Top of D though. This fruit sucks. This is the one that like you can put everybody into one and make like a giant Megatron guy. Doesn't seem that good. We'll put it in the top of D. I forget this guy's name, but it's like the fox monk fruit. This is a really strong fruit. We saw him go head to head with Zoro and actually match his offensive power. But also I don't think Zoro was trying to beat him up that bad. He was just trying to get past him and not give him Wado Ichimonji or whatever sword it was. I don't remember what the name of the sword was. So we'll put it in B. Bottom of B though. This is the cream fruit. D. Orochi is also going to go right here in the B. Once again, bad user because this guy sucks. Everybody hates Orochi. Nobody likes that guy. Heat fruit is cool. It's like a fire fruit that's not the Logia, but we'll put it in C. It's not great. We'll put it right here with like Jozu and Cement Guy. I think it's solid. Page 1 has the really strong Zoan, the dinosaur ones. I don't think these can go lower than B. Yeah, it's with Jack in Black Maria, but it is stronger than both those other ones. This is the Turtle Zoan. This is a pretty mid one. I'm gonna put it down here with these. Honestly, I want to put it lower than all of the beast ones because it's a turtle. It's not that good. Pell's fruit is cool. I'm going to put it up here with these mythical Zoans, even though it's just a hawk. It's not a mythical Zoan, but it is flying. And we saw how ridiculous his defense is because he lived that giant bomb. I don't know if that's due to the fruit. I don't know if that's due to Oda just not wanting to kill him because he's a nice guy. We're going to put him in D. Pero's fruit is actually really crazy. I'm going to put it here up in the top of B. He created another arm, which was cool. He also created like a big windy staircase. We saw him create like a thing to float on in the ocean. I think this has a lot of good capabilities, like a lot of really powerful abilities. Also not that strong at the same time. I think being in B is good. I think it's a good place. Perona has a crazy fruit, but it does have some weird counters like Usopp just being depressed or whatever. And so we're gonna put it up here in like B. I don't think we've seen the whole like capabilities of the fruit. I don't think it's bad. I'm not gonna put it down here as C because I think a lot of these fruits are just like all of these fruits are worse, but it does just like at its base let you fly through walls and like float around and all that, and that's cool. And you can like kill somebody's will to fight, which is a really strong power. This honestly should probably be an A, but we just don't have enough feats. But we'll actually move it up here a little bit. I think it's better than a lot of these fruits. I think it's actually better than all these fruits. I think it's a little bit worse than Brook's fruit because Brook has like kind of the same ghost potential without like killing the will to fight, but it also has like the ice powers and the not dying. So that's a good place. Pika's stone fruit is cool. It's a really strong power, but it also has obvious like weaknesses. C, it has to be around stone and all that. Like I think it's probably fine in C. We will put it above all these Zoans though, for sure. We'll put it right here. Next one, we got Pierre. This is a weird one. This is like a Pegasus fruit or something like that. It's not actually. It's actually just a horse fruit that a bird ate. So it can turn into kind of a Pegasus. Actually, we'll put it with Pell because it gives you flight. And it doesn't actually do that. I'm going to put it with the elephant down in D, I think. Next, we got Senior Pink. He can like swim through the ground. I think this is a strong power and it's definitely capable of like pretty solid stuff. I don't think it's great. I think it's kind of like Bellamy's fruit where it kind of just like gives you a little bit of maneuverability, but it's still kind of two-dimensional. So we're going to put it right there. But I think it is better than Bellamy's fruit because you can go under the ground, come up and punch someone. It's a little less obvious. Pudding's fruit is crazy, but not offensively or defensively or gives you maneuverability. It's a weird one. It's kind of like Viola. It's kind of like Viola's fruit where it's like really good, like a niche supportive, like have it on your crew but not on your main fighter's ability. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in B, but the bottom of B. Queen's fruit, once again, just it goes to where King would go, but it doesn't have flight, so it's gonna go here. It gives you Brachiosaurus, which is better than page 1, but not by a lot. Raizo has like this scroll fruit, which is kind of me. Like every time I'm bored for 1 minute, scroll fruit. Anyway, it's pretty cool. It lets you like absorb attacks and then send them back. Kind of like the weird powers of the Rinnegan, but not as good. I'll put it in C. Pretty good up in C though. I think it belongs right here with like the heat guy in Jozu and cement guy. Robin's fruit is crazy. It lets you spring body parts anywhere. Solid fruit. It lets you, we've seen her like turn into giant legs and stomp out whole bunches of people. We've seen her sprout wings, make ladders. I'll put it in B, right up here with like Cracker's fruit. I think it's about as strong as that. But like a barrage of armament hockey. Okay. We'll put it up here with kids fruit. Sasuke, once again, right here, right under Queen, just another dinosaur fruit. Sengoku, another mythical Zoan. We haven't seen the full potential of this fruit. I'm gonna put it up here in A, but the very tippy top of A. It's a really, really strong fruit. We gotta see him fight Shiki. We gotta see these fights with Sengoku before I can rate it S tier. Other than that, A tier is probably fine. This is the wheel guy. We'll put it down here. It's not very good of a fruit. Just lets you spin parts of your body like a wheel, punch people like in rapid succession. Doesn't seem that good. Shiki's fruit is really cool. And I don't know really where to rate this. I want to put it in A because he can make himself float. He can make other things float. We've seen him already use an entire island as a ship, which is pretty cool. I think it's weaker than these Logias, but stronger than these Zoans. Shiki's fruit, that seems like a good place for me. Shizuku or something? It's Shinobu. She can make things rapidly age anything, even humans, which is pretty cool. And she can also make like wood rapidly age until it rots. So pretty cool fruit. Kind of like a nerfed Jewelry Bonnie because it can only make things go up in age, but it can also activate on any item, anything. So not only people. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B. The Rust fruit, this guy could have been good if he wasn't a side character. We'll put this up in like C, above the Zoans, next to like Pika and Daifuku and all those characters. Bellamy, that's all right. The axolotl fruit is cool. It's interesting. You have to like live in water or something, but you do become an absurdly strong beast for like 10 minutes and destroy a whole town. We'll put you up here in like B with like these other Zoans, but probably under all of them. I don't know. The guy just died after a little while. Smoker has a Logia, but it's the weakest Logia of all of them. It's not even as strong as Caesar Clowns. So I'm going to put one whole tier under Caesar Clowns, but it's going to be right here with Monet. It is going to be one higher than Monet though. Smoothie makes you like that guy in Cory in the House, the juicer. The juicer. Where he like squeezes you and you get juice. You can juice people. I'm going to put it in C. Right here with like the Bellamy crew, like of people that it's like, okay, but it's not a great ability. Spider Guy gets the low Zoan treatment where he goes with the bugs, but not as good as the flying bugs. He's gonna go down here with the stinky Zoans. I forget this guy's name, but he can like cut up anything and turn it into food. That's a cool fruit. Not that great. Not any offensive or defensive capability, but I want him on my crew because he can always make sure there's food. Always. T tier. Sugar's fruit is crazy. If you don't put it in S, you're wrong. This is one of the most absurd fruit powers ever. You can touch somebody. You can touch someone and make them into a toy and make everybody in the world forget about them and bend what they do to your will. This is an absurd power. Like, how does this fruit exist actually? We'll put it after the Logias. That's a good place. And after Marco. We'll put it after Marco and the Logias because you have to touch them and leaves you at the age of when you eat it. So, you know, the user of it is like 20, but they look 6. Thomas fruit is okay. It can tame any beast, but that's not that great. We very much so power crept beasts. So yeah, it did have really useful stuff in Wano, but right under the Zoans. That's where we're going to put it. Right under the Zoans. This is another one of the C tier Zoans. It's the chicken fruit. You become a chicken man. Chickens can barely fly. No, chickens can't fly. Can chickens fly? We're going to put him right here with his buddy Peckham's. Blackbeard, you get the dark fruit. You're going to go all the way up here. I think it might be one of the craziest fruits. It can negate any devil fruit ability. S tier. Top of S tier. Toki, you can time travel. Why the fuck does this even exist? S tier. I mean, come on. You can send people in the future. Now, you can't go back in time, which makes me think there might be a fruit that can send you back in time and can't send you further in time. But the fact that this fruit exists, it's scary for the entire show. It's actually such a ridiculous fruit. I'm gonna put it right here with Sugar. Treble's fruit is mid. It's a snot fruit. Literally a snot fruit. It's C tier. We're gonna put it right here with his buddy Pika. Sudu, we'll see more of your fruit, I hope, because it seems cool. It's a clean fruit. She can wipe away, wash away stuff. Don't really know what that means, but apparently you can purify evil people, which means it might be really useful at some point in the show. And I don't know. You're a really prestigious character though, so it's got to do something. We're just going to put it in the top of C and just call it a day. Right next to the crow guy. We'll see what these fruits do one day, hopefully. Ulti, you're going to sit right next to your boy, page 1. Dinosaur guy. I think it's good. Arouge, we don't really know anything about you yet, buddy. We know that he can turn damage inflicted into himself into strength, like physical strength, like big muscles or something like that. I don't know. C tier. Gonna put you right next to Jozu. The berry fruit is cool. It's like Buggy's fruit, but for blunt punches instead. We're gonna put him right next to Buggy. Yeah, he's in B. We're gonna put you right next to him. Viola's fruit is crazy. We're gonna put it in A. Pretty low in A. Honestly, under the pocket dimension characters, it does some weird stuff like Bonnie. It lets you see things like from anywhere. Reading minds. I want this on my team. I want this on my crew somewhere. Maybe not the big fighters, but maybe the fighters. Wapple's fruit sucks. He can eat stuff and then turn into what he eats. It's not that good. You go down here in D. Actually, dude, because of how like many times I've said under this, we're just gonna put the flight bug zoans up to C. You get promoted, buddies. Who's Who is a saber-toothed tiger. It's not quite as strong as a dinosaur, I think. So we're gonna put it right here with the mammoth guy. X Drake is another dinosaur guy, but he's a T-Rex. He's the strongest one other than King. So B. Yamato is another incredibly strong mythic zoan. It's like whatever Okami was. I don't remember what that is, but like a fox spirit or something like that. We haven't seen the full potential of this fruit. I'm gonna put it in B with these fruits, but I'm gonna put it right above the dinosaurs because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I think Yamato is not done. Right there. Right there's good. This spiky girl, I don't remember what her name is, and her fruit just makes her put spikes all around her. It's not that great, so we're gonna put it right under the zoans. Let's do Law. Law's fruit is crazy. Probably the highest fruit. Okay, so it's arguable that it's the best fruit, right? We know that he can make people immortal. That's one of the most ridiculous powers that you can have. Being able to make somebody immortal, that S tier. And like for every other ability that has, like teleportation of anything, moving any object to a person, like it's S tier fruit. Luffy's gum fruit. I'm gonna put it right here next to Cat's, but one behind it, because once again, just incredible user, really good durability, but overall, like the offensive capabilities are weird, and it's due to Luffy's incredible battle IQ that propels this to even a B tier fruit. Okay, we are charting into manga territory now. Charting into manga territory. Have you not seen the manga? Then stop watching the video. Have you seen the manga? Cool. Let's get into the manga fruits. The first one is this island fruit, which I think maybe was revealed before it because he was in the Impel Down crew that Blackbeard broke out. Now we've seen a little bit of it in, really recent chapters. This is a cool fruit. He can merge with an island and then notify anybody where somebody is. If there's movement on the island, he knows. I think this is a pretty powerful fruit overall. I'd love to have it on my crew. I want to have my base. I want this guy to be my hometown base. Would like to say it's up here in B. Honestly, I almost want to say it's up here in A with Viola. I think it's for the same reasons as Viola. I want it on my crew. I want this fruit. This is a fruit that I would hunt down. And Blackbeard was right to hunt this guy down. Well, maybe not hunt him down, but break him out of Impel Down and say, you're on my crew. You're going to be my hometown base. I think he's right. I'm going to put it in A. This might be overrating it, but I think it's a very useful fruit to have on your squad, on your crew. Kuma's fruit is another fruit that we don't fully know the abilities of. I'm gonna put it in the top of A, but I think there's something to be said. It can maybe whip memories out of people and store them. I don't know fully what we were talking about here in recent chapters on Egghead, what this really can do. There's definitely more that this fruit can do. I'm gonna put it in A. Might be overrating it. I think I'm underrating it. I think I might be. And I think it's going to be really important to the series. This is this clay guy from the really recent chapters. I don't think this is a crazy fruit. I think it's honestly like on the same par as like some of like kid abilities where it's like he can turn huge clay punch, big clay punch like Luffy Gear 3, like big clay punch. And he can also like create little minions of clay that can go do scouting and do like, I think it might end up being a very useful fruit. And also we don't know, like, is it a Logia fruit? I'm going to put it up there with B in that stuff, but I think I'm probably overrating this fruit. I might be overrating this fruit. Vegapunk. This is an interesting fruit. It lets you memory everything. I think this is one of those good user, bad fruit. Maybe not bad fruit, but good user, mid fruit. I'm going to put this here in B. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm probably underrating this fruit, but here in B, that's where we're putting it. Kaku, dude, so like, all right, okay, so him and Lucci, right? I'd put them both down here in C, right with these guys. But because they're awakened, we're going to put them in B, but only because they're awakened. I still think that regular Zoans being awakened is not that strong. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, but I think these are just strong people. not strong devil fruits. This is the whip fruit that lets you whip like inanimate objects into doing whatever you want. I think that's an interesting fruit. I don't really know the capabilities of the fruit, and I think this will get explored very, very soon, like right now, like this week, like on every chapter. We'll put it with rally fruit, but right above rally fruit, because you can rally inanimate objects, which I think is probably better than rallying random people. Ryogyoku is a crazy Logia fruit. It's the forest fruit. I think this is a really interesting one. I think it's better than these Logia fruits. So I want to put it here with these, but it's not, because it's not an elemental fruit, but it might be, and this might be one of the god fruits. I think there's a chance that this is one of the god fruits, because there was one that was like the god of the forest or something like that from Skypiea. I'm still going to put it up here. I'm going to put it right above, right under Ace's fruit. I'm going to put it right under Ace's fruit. I don't think that's overrating. I'm going to talk about Van Augur. This is Law's fruit, but only teleportation, so it doesn't have the immortality. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it right here because teleportation is crazy. Sick fruit. We don't really have much about this yet. I think it's like it can let you infect people with like viral diseases. It's definitely potentially really good, but we just don't know anything about this fruit. Like, we just don't know enough about this fruit. We're going to put it in C tier. We just don't know anything about it. San Juan Wolf is cool. He has a giant fruit. He's a giant, and he has the giant fruit. I think this is a crazy fruit. I think it goes right here with Kid, above Kid, though. And actually above Monet. And Parasparrow. Yeah. And above Cat. I think it's a crazy fruit. You're an absurdly huge person. That's him standing in the ocean. The Pegasus guy. This is actually just their horse. Stronger. That's the name of the horse. But it gives him wings. C tier. It lets him fly. Put it with Pell. Or is that in B tier? Drunk fruit. We don't really know what this guy can do yet, unfortunately. So we're gonna put it here in C, because hopefully we get to see that fruit soon. And Luffy's fruit. Come on. I mean, you guys know this. You guys know this. Sun God. Mythical Zoan Sun God. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. He can bend reality to his will. When he figures out all the powers of his fruit, end of series Luffy is going to be probably one of the strongest characters in all of anime, just because it's a cheater. It's a cheater fruit. You know, the capabilities of this fruit is probably astronomical, but we don't know the full extent of this power. We have no idea. Like, it allows him to create fiction. It's the most absurd power, really, in any anime. It's a plot fruit. It's a cheater fruit. There's nothing else I can really say. I can't really expand on it anymore. Anyway, that's it. I think I might have missed a couple of devil fruits, but I went through all of the wiki and hit every single canonical fruit. We're at an hour and 20 minutes of recording time, so I'm going to end this video here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more like One Piece or like anime content and all that kind of stuff. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good day. Goodbye.